Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of Real Ball Talk. The voice of the group chats, as they say. So a couple of guys will be strolling in any minute now. I believe John, Jeff, and Rash should all be attending today's show. So it should be a good one. And I guess, as you can see from the title there, main topic is going to be Arsenal and City and I guess the question that's been put out there is has Arsenal bottled it? Have they, I guess, achieved what they need to achieve? I guess. What does the season look like if Arsenal finish second? And can City be stopped? So I guess we're kind of in that boat at the moment, and that's up for discussion today. We got my guy Jeff in the building.
You said, my boy, what's good, man?
Yeah, good man, good. Yeah, I'll just do an introduction in regards to what we might be talking about today, and I just didn't see us having this kind of conversation in terms of did we bottle it this early in terms of there's still 7 games, it's still mathematically possible for Arsenal to still win the league in that, and I guess it's bizarre because there's been lots of questions and stuff been thrown into the group chat, and as I said at the beginning of the show, we are the voice of the group chats. Whatever comes into our group chats and questions that gets thrown out, we are going to discuss, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the first one that kind of plays into mind is Arsenal bottle jobs for, I guess, drawing twice. Drawing twice, one to Liverpool, 2-goal lead, and then I guess conceding 2 again away from home at West Ham, where both goals were decent goals from a team like Arsenal, but then conceding to a sloppy pass in the midfield and then giving away a penalty and stuff. So, what's your views on this talk? Is it a bit too early to be talking about it? Because I don't think we'll be having this conversation early, but it's all the pundits are talking about. It's all what the group chats are talking about. Where do you stand on this, bro?
You can say we bottled those games. Can't call us bottled, like we bottled the entire league, because like you said, there's points still on the board. You can say we made it very difficult for ourselves, like near enough impossible, because City is City, innit? Like they've been in this situation time and time again, so they're used to this, and we're not. Like we mentioned this on this a while ago, and said we're gonna come across a time where we won't be winning games. Like it's gonna be a time, because that's just how football goes. You don't win all the time. So like the last 2 games, you can say, yeah, we definitely slipped up big time, 100%. Like you're losing 2-0 twice. Like the Liverpool one, I had a feeling, like, even when we were doing the predictions, I think I even had Liverpool win. Like just because Liverpool and Arsenal, especially at Anfield, is a hard task, man. No matter how they're playing. Don't matter who's in the squad. If it's Fabio Aurelio, if it's David Ngog, if it's Torres, if it's Suarez, if it's Sturridge, or if it's this current Liverpool team. Like you go to Liverpool, it's a tough game. City have already lost there this season. So the fact that we're 2-0 up, we were doing well, but then what seems to happen is the crowd get going, we then cower a little bit. Like Liverpool won, it's expected, but it happened in the West Ham game where the crowd are on top of you, they act like the 12th man, and then the pressure piles on, and then goals are conceded. But what we can say is at least we haven't lost those games. If we had lost those games, then you can say, all right, cool, we're just not ready for this. To at least get some points, because Arsenal, I'm used to an Arsenal team where once 1 goal goes in, 3 more go in. So, like, you can say, but my point is, you can say we bottled those games 100%. But in terms of just saying bottled the league, a bit too early for that. You can say, like, our run is incredibly tough. We got Newcastle, we got City, we got Chelsea, we got Brighton.
Yeah.
And we got City next week. So
midweek.
Yeah. So what we have to do is we have to smoke Southampton differently. Hope Saliba there's a lot of hopes. Hope Saliba comes back, and then hope we outplay City or at least get a point, so it's still in our hands. So it's a lot of ifs.
There is a lot of ifs and hopes, and yeah, I'm in the same boat as you, bro. Like, because I won't fully give up hope and everything, but I mean, as we haven't been on for a while, I thought we could actually take it back to that Liverpool game, and the turning point for sure. Because I mean, we saw it in the group chat, we saw it from pundits, we saw it match of the day, all this guy, and anyone else you watch on YouTube if you want to look at football. But a lot of the blame game came from, we was in control. We got the 2 early goals, which was vital. And, I'm sitting in my chest. I said, we're winning this. 2 goals in come on, Anfield. All we got to do is park the bus, really. But, Salah's always had legs. They're active. Henderson got lucky with that flick onto, Salah. But I guess what I wanted to ask you is, like, in terms of the turning point, are you one of the guys that are going to put blame on, like, Xhaka? You know what it's like. As a senior player, Arteta did it last year. These guys weren't singing. Everybody will tell you, Liverpool fans will tell you who were there in the stadium. But it was like a library. Arsenal fans were just going nuts. But every Liverpool fan always said, if you get us wound up, the game's ours. The game's ours. So do you put blame on, like, normal men? If they are to act up, because I know Mikel tried to do the thing last year where he played the music in training to say, they're going to be loud, bro. Like, you're not going to hit our fans. Nothing we can do about it. But then he goes on and, has a fight with Klopp, and then he goes tits up. And then the same thing from Xhaka. Xhaka knows, obviously, Trent kicked him. He was walking away, and then, he gave it back to him. And then you see your whole thing just erupt. I had no more Arsenal fans. I couldn't hit any Arsenal fans. So would you deem that as the turning point, or do you just say, it's how you got to deal with, man. You go anywhere and this shit could happen.
Now that was a turning point because Liverpool definitely needed a way of getting back in the game. It wasn't happening football-wise. Like, Trent started in that inverted role, and we were all over them. Like, Martinelli was cooking them out wide, cooking them like all the time. Like, it was looking bad. So, but kudos to Trent, man. That's what you have to do sometimes. Like, well, you be in games sometimes, you be losing, and you gotta get yourself going sometimes. Like, your game might not be going, but then you have to get your adrenaline up. You have to rattle the other team. And to be fair, like, Xhaka got fouled before that, like, a couple times, and then he responded. I'll just say this, like, you're men, innit? Like, you're entitled to respond. So I can't necessarily blame him and say, nah, it's all your fault. Like, it's definitely your fault. But it's definitely a turning point. Like, Liverpool, Anfield is Anfield, man. All it takes is one. Like, they could, listen, Barcelona went there with a 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
They lost.
3-0. Like, how could you be 3-0 up in a game at home and a new count and come there and just get, I remember that.
And game. You lose 4-0. So, like, they're the masters of those kind of, like, classic comebacks and those kind of things. So, like, it doesn't take much to get going. Like, you hear people say it all the time about Anfield. They say the noise is deafening, like you said. You can't hear yourself think. The crowd's on top of you. Like, the south of the stadium just looks crazy. You're looking around. You want help. There's no help. So, like, that's just the way it goes, man. Like, you can't cry. Like, I don't think it's fair necessarily to blame Xhaka for that, because if you put it just this way, like, what he maybe should have done is just smiled at him, but that wouldn't. By that point, Trent would already got going. That Trent's done what he needed to do to get himself motivated for the game. As soon as that happened, then you see them flying around, tackles, getting the crowd going, raising their hands to the crowd, saying, like, "Come on, let's get this." And then there weren't too much longer after that where they went and scored. So this is how it goes, man.
That's how it goes, yeah. And I think I agree with you, because I don't want to put the whole blame. I don't want to put any blame in Xhaka, because see me, if someone kicked me, I'm giving it. But 100%. I guess if there was a game plan where it said, let's not wind up the crowd, man. 2 early goals, but that's a disciplinary thing, and if that's the case, then that's the case. But I ain't gonna put the blame on Xhaka. I think if something like that happens, you've got to form as a team and stop that nonsense from happening in terms of yes, John, what's going on?
Yo, what are you not telling me? What are you saying?
Good, man. Good,
bro.
What you saying, man?
We got a chance to start off the show just talking about Arsenal because I said that I think I truly believe it's a bit too early to start this talk about bottling, if that makes sense. But I feel like it's very appropriate because it's in all the group chats. It's in all the pundits are talking about. Anybody who talks about football, if you go to football, you go play football with your mates, you're going to talk about Arsenal bottling, right? And it's still like 7 games to go, and we're still top of the league, and anything can happen. It's football's the Prem. So I just wanted to go back to the game where Liverpool, in terms of the turning point with Xhaka, because I reiterate what I said in regards to last year. Arteta tried to play the noise to say this is how it's going to be. You're not going to hear our fans, unfortunately, kind of thing. And Arteta goes and spoils it and kicks it off with Klopp last year, and then they done the business over us, right? And then same thing happened this year. Someone kicks Xhaka, Trent kicks Xhaka, and then obviously it all kicks off, and then you see everyone giving it the large. So I just wanted to get from yourself as well. You think that's the turning point? Do you put some onus on Xhaka, or you think no, this is a team sport? It's 11 man in the pitch. You can't put the whole thing on him and have a point of contention against just Xhaka, and then everyone else just gets allowed. You got battered. We get battered because it's 2-2. We still came out with a point, as Jeff said. Still a positive thing that we still came out with a point because God knows it could have gone differently. But where do you stand on that whole thing?
Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think it was stupid what Xhaka did because I think, as Jeff said, the smarter way to do it would have been to maybe just have give him a cheeky smile or something.
Yeah,
just let him know that you're not rattled and that you know that he's rattled, type of thing. But overall, I think it's just everyone knows I'm not Xhaka's biggest fan, but I think it was just bad timing. That thing happened, and then they just happened to score in the next attack. It's just one of those things that was it just happened. And still so much that happened after that. Henderson lucky shot, which went to Salah, which Salah read well. So can I blame Xhaka for that? I mean, Xhaka's not going to predict that it's going to happen in the next minute. So, and in football, those type of incidents can happen. You know what I'm saying? It's a competitive sport. You know what I'm saying? Xhaka thought he got kicked, which he got fouled. He tried to give him a little nick back. Xhaka probably thought, we're feeling ourselves. We could probably let's do the beef thing as well. And it just happened that it looked bad, but I think I'm not going to say we drew 2-2 because of Xhaka, because that would be that's just flat out scapegoating. And there was still so much more that happened second half. Arsenal could still have won, even though Arsenal probably should have lost based off the chances Liverpool had. Arsenal still could have won if they just had a bit more composure on the break 2 or 3 times. But again, that comes through being there, being used to being in those situations, understanding I don't have to rush this pass or, small things like that. So I wouldn't blame Xhaka for Arsenal drawing 2-2. I think, that would be unfair on him.
Yeah, I just think football has just become, especially from fans that don't know football, silly fans will have to blame someone when it's a team effort. It's not like it's tennis where you can say he didn't pull his weight, his serves wasn't great.
That one, it wasn't helped by Gary Neville.
What happened with Gary Neville?
Because obviously Gary Neville was in the Sky Sports commentary, and he's going on about, he's awoken the Anfield beast. This is a crowd that once they're dead, you keep them dead, which I understand.
Yeah, same.
But it's the fact he kept going on about it. So obviously, if you I don't want to say if you know less about football, but if you're more inclined to listen to what the pundits say, then it's very easy just to be like, Gary Neville said that, it must be that's the reason why. But obviously, we've watched so many games that we know, that's not the, what I'm saying. As much as you could say what Xhaka did, the argument could be flipped to say it was Trent that took the initiative to say, this game is going mad wrong. Let me just start fucking shit up and seeing if people react.
That's smart though.
That's the thing that in football, especially now, everything's narrative driven. So you put it solely on Xhaka, but you could just applaud Trent. because
Yes,
Trent
you can.
was getting ripped for 35 minutes. He was having a tough time. Martinelli looked him in the face in minute 1 and went straight past him.
He was
He
getting
just said,
caught.
"You're a victim today. I'm going past you. There's nothing you can do." And
Yeah.
he, after getting cooked, that inverted role wasn't working out. After 35 minutes, you take the game into your own hands. All right, I've been kicked. All right, this is my moment. I can grab the game back. And from that moment on, he was exceptional. That second half, that was the Trent that we're used to seeing, like last
Mhm.
season. So
Yeah.
that
Totally.
is, if Gary Neville doesn't, like, if you don't put a narrative on Jackie, you could just say that, listen, I played football as well. Trent was smart, and from there Liverpool could then get back into their game, and they went and won, or they went and drew. Sorry, that's it.
Yeah.
And this is
Exactly. Yeah, and it's just sorry, Jado. I was just gonna say it's like some of these pundits. I feel like sometimes they need to do a better job of just saying what the truth actually is. Because like Shaka got a yellow card. I don't know if it was in that incident, right? And I
Yeah,
think
he
it was
did
Gary
in that
Neville that was
instance.
talking about like they need to keep an eye on Shaka for the second half. And I'm thinking, for as much as the guy's had a checkered discipline record, he's never had 2 yellow cards in a game for Arsenal in 7 years.
mhm.
Why are we
Yeah.
worried about him getting a second yellow when he's never done that in 7 years with all the yellow cards that he gets? And this is coming from me.
Yeah, I know it's crazy.
I'll say this.
So you have to be fair. You
Yeah,
have to be fair.
in the past year, I like there's been a turnaround in Xhaka, whether like you want to accept it or not. Like he's times on a yellow card where I'm certain he's not getting another one. Like there's been several
Yeah,
instances of that this season where it's like, he's got a yellow, and now he'll be fine. He's learned.
yeah, exactly. But it's the case that it never even happened in the first place, Jeff.
And that
You,
too, yeah.
you know what I'm
That's a fact.
saying?
That's a fact.
Like, but yeah, like it's lazy punditry, innit? Like you said,
Yeah.
narrative driven, innit? These men are onto
Mm.
the social media things now as well, so they know
They
He
know
about
knows
they know what they're doing. They
he
know what
knows
they're
what
narrative.
to do. Like I
You
can't even
know,
say it's lazy, it's strategic. Like
it
you
could
know
be,
what
yeah,
you're doing.
it's probably not lazy. It's probably strategic. Yeah,
Because now what you can do with that is when they finish the game and you go inside now, you can talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
Monday, before the 8 o'clock game starts, you can talk about it.
Which they
Then it'll
did.
go to
Which
yeah,
they did.
and then it'll end up on wherever else. It's a whole media cycle. It'll end up on Talksport, it'll end up on CBS Sports, it'll end up everywhere else you need it to land. And
On
before
all
you
the
know it, there's a
podcasts
whole
out there,
there's a whole week of
AFTV,
content
everything. It just creates the media the wheel, innit? It just makes it,
all
yeah,
from one thing.
yeah.
You know what? I also wanted to, because you guys brought up as well, yeah, and it's kind of, it's it was hard for me to say at the time when I was speaking to some people about it, but Trent's got to get a lot of credit for the turnover of that game, because if you look at the bigger picture, Trent also got a yellow card. They both
He
got a
did.
yellow card. So we all what was all Arsenal fans thinking? You know what we're thinking? Martinelli,
Trent
cook
was on
him.
the edge.
Yeah, but guess what happened? Trent played it into his now that they were on the full attack and that goal came in. Trent was like, I don't need to defend anymore, and he didn't. All he had to do, he cooked Shevchenko to get the second fucking goal. Do you got what I'm trying to say? So he was full on
It's
attack, putting balls into the box, doing the madness. We got
that's
to give him
Yeah,
credit.
no, he was.
That's twofold though. Like one,
Yeah,
he played really well. Like he was sick second half. Like that was Trent. Two, it was we were maybe a little bit too negative. Like we tried to play
yes,
too much counter attack. So
yes.
like even when you see like the Van Dijk, I'm gonna say it. That first half he was piss poor. Like
Mhm.
that
Oh,
second goal, that second goal is bad. Like Jesus didn't do anything to move off him to
nothing.
score. Like he just turned right, got, and he was away. He had a half a yard of space. So that second half, like what happened is like we sat back. We actually did pretty well, like sitting back, but maybe it was just a bit too negative. And then their confidence builds. Like Trent, we know what Trent can do from wide areas. It's like we know what he can do, or even from like central areas, you know what he can do. So when you're swinging in crosses all day, at some point you're gonna get some joy in it. Like you're just going to. So
Yeah,
it was that's why it's twofold. It's like one, he was amazing. Two, we maybe a little bit too negative in that hindsight, just a little bit.
I agree completely, and I think it's one of those things where when you're under the cosh, the first thing you should think about doing is how can we find any way of keeping the ball, even if we're not necessarily looking to attack. How can we just keep the ball for 5 minutes? And
Yeah,
also didn't quite do that enough at Anfield in the second half.
agreed.
Um, to get the initiative back. And then obviously once we went to 5 at the back, then obviously you've given all the initiative up. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's where it was tough. And that's why sometimes you gotta respect Jesus, because Jesus tries to come back just for that sole reason. Just to be like, let me show these guys I'll take the ball with my back to goal in my own half, knowing I'm pressed, but I still won the ball. Just to show these guys, yo, let's keep playing. You know what I'm saying? So that's a sign of leadership that he has that people don't really speak about with him.
It's underrated with him. And even we say this, like, bro, Rob Holding played well. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah. No, I guess
he played well. Nah, he didn't play well there. But that first game against Liverpool, like, I think it would have been different if someone like Nunes plays, because Nunes is just busy. He would have dragged that defense all over the place, just with chaotic running. Yes, but just with what like Holding was doing, like, he was just solid. I know apart from the penalty thing, which I think part is smart in one instance, but just a little bit clumsy, like just clumsy. We got away with it, but he played well, man. Like, crosses were flying in the box, and he was dealing with him. Him and Gabriel as well. Hey, man, Gabriel's one of the best centre backs in the league. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it like that.
He was that game. He pretty much handled Salah by himself,
comfortably
as well. Like, no stress.
Like, Gabriel, I know we love Saliba and we love Gabriel. They're both as necessary to each other, to me. Like, Saliba is the calm, quality centre back on the ball. Gabriel is the brute that you need. Like, you still need some things that you can work on. You don't always need to go toe to toe with somebody, but like, he's the glue back there too. Because when sometimes we're cowering a little bit, his presence just gives us a little bit of presence, like, gives us a little bit of domination back.
Yeah, 100%.
For sure, but go on.
I was just gonna read this comment. Ola, speak up, Ola. Hope you're blessed, my bro. Saying, I think Carragher's right for once. I don't think it's bottling, but rather overconfidence. Silly errors and flicks got us punished.
Second game,
Talk about the West Ham game,
You want to talk about it?
Yeah, the overconfidence point is interesting because where's that? I don't know. After you've just drawn 2-2, where does that overconfidence come from?
He's talking about the party flick. Was it party flick? Was he talking about?
The party flick, yeah.
That, but you know what it is with that one? Party gets away with that so much because he does that normally, and he does that all the time. He does stuff like that all the time. It's just you came across like Declan Rice is good at snuffing out those kind of things. That's one of his best qualities. Like, is just hounding in on you, leaving you with no room. He'll come out with the ball. So it's just the wrong place to do it. And I'll say this: the pass from Tierney is just not the best pass. Like, if it comes from Zinchenko, he's probably zipped in a little bit more. Partey probably takes a good touch, and you probably escape. Tierney's pass is just a bit too bobbly. Like, it's just a bit. There's not a right pace on it. So now his touch isn't that great. So now you're trying to do something that you probably shouldn't do. 35 yards from goal, and now as soon as Rice gets it, now what's my man who was in the middle who won the penalty? Yeah. So now he ends up with the ball, and Gabriel tries to pull out, but it's too late.
Exactly. Pause. Yeah. Literally,
That's actually the story of the game. I can't remember.
Trust, real talk. But you know what it is, because obviously the commentators kept talking about Declan Rice and saying, like, it's like his funny ambition for Arsenal. Like, Jalil, what do you think? Like, were you impressed by him when you said, I want to see him because at Arsenal? Or I can't lie, I was looking at it thinking, yo, stay far away from this guy. You can stay as far away from this guy as you can, please.
Yeah.
Yo.
Do you know what it is? I think
80 million, remember that? 80 million.
80 mil. Yeah, for me, I was speaking to the boys about this. I think I said it in every group chat when it comes to Declan Rice and everything. And I wouldn't mind him, but I have 5 other names in front of him that I would prefer.
Who are the 5 names?
So there's a few. So there's the fella from Brighton. We went through
Caicedo.
him. Yeah. No. The
Like
one
Caicedo.
Oh, Caicedo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gundogan was one as well. If we can get him, he was one that I would love to see. But not in that part of position, but more in the Xhaka position, because he's he is not underrated because no one speaks about him, but he's underrated. Do you get
No,
what
he
I'm
is
saying?
underrated.
Because nobody speaks about him.
100% is
He's
underrated.
100% underrated, bro.
We watch football. We know he's on. We know he's class. Like we know he's
We
been
know.
class.
Yeah. Cool.
So so him. There's a few others that I had on my hit list as well, but
Are you off Tielemans then?
yeah. See, for me, especially in that especially for City when City battered them 4-1, just the last game gone. Tielemans looks like to me is like. So I'm a fighter. I like to see people fight even when they're in a shit team, innit? Like, but for me, Tielemans just looked like I know what it is, bro. Arsenal's got me. You know, I'm going Champions League next season. It is what it is. If I play good, I play good. If I don't, I don't. This is City I'm playing. I ain't gonna pull my weight, kind of thing. That's kind of what I saw. I'm not saying everyone should agree with me. But that's what I saw, and I want to see fight if someone's coming Arsenal. So for me, Tielemans ain't really on my list, but I'll take him. I'll 100% take him. I'll take him over Rice.
You know what's mad about the Tielemans thing, yeah? Because if you remember when we did our predictions at the start of the season, I think you were the only one that called Leicester to get relegated. And we were all, I personally was a bit surprised by that, but look at them now, second from bottom,
Stinking up the place.
And the Tielemans thing reminds me a bit of, if you remember when Wijnaldum got relegated at Newcastle, similar vibes. Wijnaldum's like, no, these men are getting relegated, but I ain't getting relegated.
I'm going Liverpool.
So I'm easy. Whether I would take him at Arsenal, I probably still would. I still like him, but
for free, yeah. But you know what it is like?
It's the free thing, isn't it? The free.
The way we've shown and proved over this season that we're a good team, like it just expedited the process. So start of the season, you're aiming for Champions League, so you definitely take a Tielemans 100%. Like no questions asked.
True,
but as your team's getting better and you realize there's more options, now you're thinking, all right, we're going to have such and such money from Champions League, almost guaranteed. I think we're one winner or 2 wins away from guaranteed Champions League. So, like, money's coming in. So you can now stretch the money and go get someone better even. Like Tielemans, if he comes in, then it sounds crazy. He could even be a squad player. And then you can go and buy someone else.
No, facts. That's what I was thinking for him.
Yeah, because he's not guaranteed. He wouldn't be guaranteed to start. Like even this season, he hasn't been. Like when Leicester needed him, he's either been injured or he hasn't played that well. Like the guy they've leaned on all season is Maddison. Maddison has been the guy.
They said Tielemans' head ain't there, man.
Nah, he's already out the door. But like there, you didn't even ask me. But I'm saying it. I don't want Declan Rice.
Yeah, no, I don't want anywhere near the
price. Like, and I like Declan Rice. I think he's a good player, but the hype is just too much. Like, man. And he's also like skill set wise, like he's got ability, like things that we need. Like he's a leader in there, strong, quite quick, like 6'2", 6'3", gives you some aerial presence and whatnot. But for also like the way we play football, I don't know how well Rice fits in with how we play. Like
he's a downgrade on Partey.
Yeah, it's a downgrade on. He's like it'll be a good. If West Ham get relegated and Rice is cheap, I hear you. Like do your thing. Like buy him because he can play 1 or 2 because he can play as an 8. He can play 3 then. He can play as an 8, a 6. Or as a covered like centre back as a last resort, which fine by all means, but don't go and spend 80 million like because the way it's coming out is that he's our main target.
That's what's worrying me, man.
I don't know if he's our main target though. I think apparently I saw something. I mean, I'm hoping this may be true, but I heard that it could be a battle between Liverpool and City as well as Arsenal. So Liverpool for Declan Rice apparently.
City would be nuts if they buy him.
Just going for Calvin Phillips.
It wouldn't make sense.
I said City, United. Sorry, my bad. Liverpool and United.
Oh,
I don't know.
United, maybe. Yeah, United. Yeah. I'm surprised Chelsea are not linked.
Nah, Chelsea don't need them, and they got too many people they need to get rid of, bro. Because this is ridiculous. This is
Chelsea trying to get McAllister, bro.
Yeah.
You what?
They're trying to get McAllister
alright.
from Brighton, isn't it?
There's been a lot of talk in our group chat. How do you, man, feel about McAllister? Like, honestly.
Good player. Squad. If he came to Arsenal, for me, I'd consider him a squad player personally, and I'd be happy with him as a squad player to play like, them Champions League group stage games against like Anderlecht or something at home. Them games, or come in at the weekend like against Southampton this Friday, he could come in, no worries at all. But
and Gilo?
again, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very similar. I mean, if you was to ask me, how much do you think he's quoted in the market?
65, 70.
Sorry,
Okay,
is
so
that how much you got up to?
I
I saw recently 50.
Oh,
Okay.
if it's 50, then okay, I understand. I
Okay.
thought it was going to be higher because of the World Cup
World
tax
Cup.
and
It
Brighton
might
doing
be,
well.
you might be right. You might be right.
Let's do this then. If John's saying 50, Jeff, you're thinking 65. Let's go 60 for argument's sake. 55 to 60. Yeah,
60.
I'll take him over a free Tielemans as a squad player.
Ooh,
Damn.
damn.
Whoa. I didn't see that coming.
Big shout. Yeah.
Hey, there's a bit more bite in that dog, and I want that dog. Do you know what I'm trying to say? There's a bit more bite in terms of football because Brighton have been doing the business, and McAllister's been in the middle of the field doing the business as well, boys.
Oh, he's cold. No, he's a good player, man. He's a good player.
Can Tielemans bounce back from this bad attitude he has because he knows he's leaving? Because I hate to see that from people. Like if you're in a job, fulfill your job, innit? Do you know what I'm trying to say? I know you're going to get more pay. You're going to a different thing. I've seen a lot of players potentially who have, okay, I know I'm leaving, but still doing the business. I'd prefer to see that. So
remember though, Jalo, remember Tielemans, the hype that he had when he was young. I reckon in Tielemans' head, he's always thought he was above Leicester.
Of course.
But the fact that Leicester were performing so well, he was like, okay, I can rock with this. But as soon as they dropped, he's like, nah.
got an FA Cup.
You know what I'm saying? So
you got an FA Cup out. You got FA Cup there. He was very vital in the final.
The winner in that too.
Yeah, he's been. Don't get me wrong. He's been a key cut player. I mean, if we get both of them, we get both of them. But just my mind frame at the moment, how I'm seeing football and how I want to see football in the next. Because Arsenal still building. You get what I'm trying to say? We're not perfect yet. A lot of people seem to think we're perfect if we win the league and stuff. Yeah, but we've still got so many. Well, we do our keep or salvage. I was gonna go nuts because I've got some opinions. I mean, we can touch on it today if you guys want, and some of the players. But I've got some opinions. But yeah.
Hey, let's do that after this comment, man. This comment this is a different kind of comment, man.
Big old Wayne Tevez in the building. Hope you're good. Saka flopped. It shows he is average once again. Not sure what a player liking as compared to a young Messi. Shows how scary Arsenal fans are.
Wayne, is everything all right? Like, jeez, well, how you doing, man? I hope your Wednesday is going okay. First of all, I don't I'm a little confused. Like, don't get me wrong, Saka flopped. He missed the penalty. He hasn't been good the last few games.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I don't know who's ever compared him to a young Messi. Like, I don't know.
The fans on social media. Yeah.
My God. Well, yeah, maybe that part of it I understand, but Saka is not average because he's had a few bad games. Like, the season's been 30 games. Saka had a not so good start, but has been flawless from probably like late September onwards. As soon as we played Man United, when was that?
Yeah, September.
Yeah. That onwards, and maybe until the last 2-3 games, he's been great. Like, one of the best in the league. Like, the numbers show it. Like, and I'm not even a numbers guy, but the numbers show it. His performances show it. The effect he has on the team shows it. Like, there's a reason why we look at him the way we look at him. Like, I wouldn't say he's average. If you feel he's overrated, that's another statement. If you feel that, I can't argue with that. Like, if that's what you feel, that's what you feel. I don't agree, but average is a wild statement.
Average is wild.
Average.
Wayne Tevez, you need to explain yourself there because that's a bit wild to say average. You need to expand on that because average is that's mad still.
That's wild.
If you want to say overrated,
sorry, go on, bro.
That's opinions.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of crazy, man. Like to say Saka's average. Like I'd love to hear who's good then. Like and really good because if Saka's average, okay, so what's Ollie Watkins? Because to me, Ollie Watkins would be just a solid Prem player, like a good Prem player. But to you, if you're
Yeah,
saying
that's what it
Saka's
is.
average, yeah, then you're saying Ollie Watkins is poor. I'm guessing. Correct me
Yeah.
if I'm wrong.
Yeah, Wayne
Yeah,
Tevez, yeah, correct
Winter
Jeff
more.
if Jeff is wrong, man. Like, who's good to you, who's really good, who's average, and who's poor? Like, if Saka's the barometer of average, we need to
Yeah,
know,
so
like, from that perspective. That's maybe
it's kind
Wayne
of
Tevez
wild.
has high standard, really super high standards, isn't it?
Maybe like that's super high though. Like because that's crazy, crazy. Like I'll say
Uh,
this though, like this season or not this season, last few games, hey, Martinelli is getting closer and closer to the finished article to me. And Ollie Watkins is crap. I figured if you said Saka was average, all right, we're on the same playing field as you. I understand. I understand how you feel.
he said
Every
every
bum
bump
can
can
have
have
a.
a good run.
See, you see how you changed it, Wayne? You said he was average. Now he's a bum. It just took 2
No, I
minutes.
think he's talking about. I think he's talking about Ollie Watkins. You know, because
Oh, okay,
Ollie
okay,
Watkins
okay,
on that
okay.
mad run right now, isn't it? Like, so he's saying every bump can have a good run at some point.
Yeah, you got a harsh outlook, Wayne, but I hear you, man. I
And
hear
I
you.
mean, it's the name that's killing me, man. Wayne Tevez.
No Wayne Rooney, Wayne Tevez. That's
Man
cold.
combined two players. That's cold, bro. That's cold.
Definitely,
But what
definitely
was
a
it,
United fan.
what was I gonna say?
Yeah.
Speaking of one guy, obviously, who's like tearing things up right now. Obviously, looking at the Man City side, that's Haaland. Um, 32 Prem goals in 29 games, 29 appearances, on the verge of smashing the record, as well as the 34 game record, as well as the 42 game record.
hmm
Um, perfectly primed to do that next game against Arsenal at home for City. Um, so, like, what do we make of Haaland? Because obviously, a lot of the talk, and I've spoken about before, Jalil, is that Haaland made City worse. But I've heard an argument recently that said it wasn't that Haaland made City worse, it's that everyone else around Haaland wasn't performing to their top level as they normally were, and now everyone's caught up. He's just continued, and now that's why they're just flowing and on fire. Um, so what do you think about that? Do you think Haaland actually did ever make City worse, or it was just a case of everyone else just had to go back to their level of performance?
I'll say this. I'll say no, but I don't think it's a bad thing to say at a spell, at a point, City weren't playing like City because we have to
Yes.
sit here and be real.
Yep.
There was a game where Haaland only had a couple touches, and then I remember a week prior to that, or maybe a game prior to that. I don't know if it was last season or something. No, it was this season. Or Lukaku had it wasn't this season. Lukaku went.
It was last season, yeah, the 7 touch
Lukaku,
game.
yeah, Lukaku had a couple touches and he got ridiculed for it, regardless of how City played as a team and regardless of how Chelsea played as a team. But based on the fact that Chelsea lost that time, he got ridiculed for it. So it's only fair for pundits, people, our friends, whoever talks about that game with Haaland. He didn't play well. I don't think he scored in that game. And there was people saying, "Wow, it doesn't actually make them look any better," you know. And you can't be upset at that point. I think that's a fair point to say because they were shit for a few games. I think they lost, they drew, and they won a game at some point around the season when that happened, and he wasn't scoring. And then he heard it because I remember him saying to a pundit about something along those lines. Um, yeah, he's just unstoppable at the moment, man. He's gonna break a lot of records, but he scores for fun. He just loves to take on defenders. I mean, that goal, who was it? Was it against Palace who ran past him? What was the last game they played?
Leicester.
Leicester. Yeah, man, he's just active, and you can't be that good without bigging up the people who play it to him. You know, Jack Grealish was ridiculed for his price range as well, if I'm not mistaken. He was 100k no. And Pep, Pep doesn't like to spend silly. Well, a lot of people think Pep likes to spend silly, but all the people who spend silly on seems to fit into his criteria and what he wants two, if that makes sense. So if he's going to spend big bucks on that, I remember, is it Akanji, the centre back? Is it Akanji? Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, you are.
Right, yeah.
You know me, I'm the king of butchering people's names, so I'm happy I got that one right. With Akanji, right? I remember saying that Pep's not going to bring someone in just to be backup to anyone. And look at him now; he's like forefront of playing every game. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He's proven himself already, and I feel like Pep's system seems to be very difficult to understand. But if you're in that system, it's easy for everybody because if you put these guys into different teams, I don't know if they'll perform like how they've been doing. Because Akanji was,
that's facts.
I think we can argue, Akanji was average, if not good, at
Dortmund. Yeah.
and internationally. But look at him now. Look at him now. You can't touch him. Like he wins all these balls. His ball retention is second to none. And if you look at every single player that plays for City, there's no one you would trade them for in the Prem. Anyone else? All the Arsenal players, I don't think any position you could trade anybody for. You've got Gundogan doing the business. Rodri is probably one of the best DMs. But there was a conversation in the group chat about Rodri, Casemiro, or Partey. And I had to say Rodri, bro. As much as I have a bias towards Partey and I love the way he styled, but Rodri's just a beast, bro. He plays ugly and it's fair. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, yeah, you got to pick up everyone, man. Yeah, Grealish, going back to Grealish again, £100 player. He's killing it. His ball retention is amazing. Ake as well, filling in that left back position after Cancelo left. So Walker's not even getting a start in the game. You know, you've got Stones playing in midfield doing the business. What's going on? Like Pep's just turning people into ballers. What's going on? And I would love to see that at Arsenal, even though we're playing one of our best footballs I've seen in about 13, 15 years. I would love to have players that can play all these kind of different positions, and our ball retention is going to be vitalized, because I feel like it's going to be our downfall if we don't have ball retention. Man City, we can't play this counter-attacking football. So, yeah, man, Pep's just he's just good at what he does. Haaland is just going to break more records. I'm very scared for when we play them midweek next week, and yeah, man, I just don't see them stopping. And if they do the treble, and there's a lot of United fans, I don't know if you guys are hearing this, but a lot of them saying they don't want City to win. It's kind of the feeling I had when Spurs were going to win. But if it was Spurs and United, I'd rather United win because they want it so much. But I don't want to hear Spurs win it.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't want City to do the treble. I'd rather Arsenal win it and City just win the Champions League and get their FA Cup kind of thing. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I'm sure you boys have heard that as well. But, that's my perspective on City, man. Unstoppable.
Yeah, we played them. Arsenal played them next Wednesday. Obviously they've got Munich very shortly, looking good to go through to the semi-final. And to be honest, obviously Madrid have the heritage, which always makes you scared, but I don't see any reason why City shouldn't beat Madrid. And then against either AC Milan, Inter, or Benfica, one of them three, I mean, you fancy your chances if you're City. So at this moment in time, you have to say that, obviously United are the only team in Prem history to do the treble, which is why they don't want City to do it. But City have a great chance of doing it.
Oh, yeah,
they
of course.
actually have a great chance of doing it. And if they do it, Jeff, if they do win the treble, Haaland for Ballon d'Or, how crazy does that sound?
Not at all. I say Haaland's already is the best debut season in football. I'm just gonna say it.
In Prem or in football?
In football, there's not many that really rival it. There's Ronaldo's at Barcelona. R9 I'm talking about.
I was seeing them clips the other day.
That man is a joke. You could maybe say Aguero's at Man City debut season was a great debut season.
Great debut season, yeah.
Suarez's debut season at Barca was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
But to come into a league, like we've mentioned, that the amount of touches he has, yeah. So he probably has like 700 touches total this season.
Yeah.
Like in 30 games. That's not much. That's maybe 33 touches a game average. That's not much. To then score 32 goals and 47 in all competitions, and there's still 9 Prem games or 8 Prem games to go, and however many Champions League games
And
seeing where
FA
City
Cup.
go, and FA Cup. This has to be the best debut in football history to me. Like it's dumb. Like because we said all of this, like they're not gelling. Like City are not playing good football. They weren't playing good football for a long time. Like even times the other day, like you see people like Rodri. Rodri gets the ball, you'll look at Haaland and he'll just play a safer ball when Haaland could potentially go through and score. And he's looking like, bro, look, he's making runs all day. The team isn't clicking, but he's got 32 goals. Like I know. Yeah, like in some instances, you just respect the goals, man. Like you might not like it, you might say, "Oh, it just happens," or like he just scores, he doesn't do much else. And this is a big part of the game, man. To score 32 goals, and like in a team where we question if they were better last season, you've done your job. Like 32 goals, and then however many in the Champions League, and however many in the FA Cup, like 47 goals in a season that isn't finished is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It really is. Like we ain't seen that in the Prem. He's already on the record. Already,
yeah.
Like he might even beat Shearer and Cole's 34 goals.
No, Mike.
Outside of
injured, he will.
And yeah, like it's madness. Like you're just scoring goals for fun. Literally for fun. He's bullying his way through and scoring goals. Like there's no defender in the Prem that can really deal with him.
No, there isn't. And you know what? And you know what is with Haaland? I don't know if you guys are noticing it. Not a lot, but his hold-up play is getting a bit better each and every game.
And that's what's gonna happen.
And that's a bit worrying. I can't lie. And
very worrying.
Yeah, and what I'm also noticing is that the likes of Grealish, etc., they're starting to do more like, oh, he's made that run. Let me pop that ball in behind. So they're starting to find that nice balance where they play their game, but at any moment they can just have that long ball in behind.
And that thing will take a while because City didn't have a striker for probably the best part of 2 years.
2 years.
They won the league without it. Aguero was injured for a long time, pretty much, like on and off. So you haven't had a striker in time. So it was always going to take time to click. Like we said it on here, like it was going to take time to click. But that's the thing with City. Like even when it's not clicking, it don't matter. Like KDB has had a good season by his standards. It hasn't been outstanding. KDB's on like 16 assists. Like he's 4 off. Like double check that for me, please. But I think it's 16 assists.
Yo, how is he that close to the record and no one's talking about it?
Bro, like
what's the record?
Just correct before it's 20.
21 or 20? No, it's 20.
I think it's Henry who still holds the record.
Yeah. Henry and De Bruyne together, innit?
Yeah, De Bruyne.
A couple years ago, yeah. Let me check. I'm checking right now.
All right, cool. But yeah, like look, these are the man like because if Haaland's on this amount of goals, you're expecting KDB to have played some part in it. He has. Like it was 15, 16. Yes. I don't know. Is it 16? I think it
16,
is.
Yeah.
There you go. That's another one. That's 16 assists quietly in a season where most people will say KDB hasn't looked like KDB.
15.
So 15 assists, 5 off the record, and you're setting up probably the most deadly man in the Prem, who misses a lot, by the way. Haaland misses a lot and still has 32 goals. Like he misses a lot of chances, has 32 goals. City haven't clicked for maybe 6 months out of the season, and they are still poised to win the title. Like if this is why you can't say Arsenal bottled it pretty much, because the team that's chasing you is probably one of the most deadly teams in Premier League history. Not probably is.
Probably is. Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is a beast that's chasing you. So. Like if you seen that stat where they said in the last 10 games of the season, Pep has only dropped, or City have only dropped points twice under Pep. They lost once in a season and they've drawn once. So that means in those 5 other seasons, they won 10 straight games.
And the maddest thing
So
is, if they beat Arsenal next week, they don't even have to win all games.
no, they could draw again because
They
they
could
got a
draw
better goal
games.
difference.
Yeah.
But it's just that just shows you like you can't say because when like I see what happens like that bottle word is a great conversation starter, but that's not the
Yeah.
right word to use. Like it's not bottle. Like you can say
We
yeah we
stuck.
dropped the ball, yeah we slipped up. You can say all of those things, but you're being chased by one of the most dangerous teams, definitely in modern Premier League history.
Oh
Like
no,
there's
no doubt.
no
No doubt.
yeah, like there's no way that this is a team that they're second, but the guy's got 32 goals. Um the one of the best midfielders probably in Prem history has 15 assists. And they hadn't even clicked yet. They've only just clicked maybe last 4 or 5 games where everyone's taken notice.
Yeah. Nah, facts. And it'll be so interesting if Arsenal do still manage to win it. When
What
people
respect is
ask,
put on it.
yeah, when people ask in 5-10 years time, they say who was the better team, Arsenal, Man City. I think even if Arsenal win it, everyone will still say Man City were clearly the better team.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
okay, but how then do you explain that Arsenal won it? It will be such a
Yeah, mind
interesting,
fuck.
mad one. Because when Leicester won it in that fluke season, at least you can say everyone was bad. Like
Yeah.
everyone was terrible. But this one, it's like City could probably still finish the season with 90 points
Easy.
and probably win Champions League and FA Cup. And then that will give the Arsenal, if they win the title, a lot more weight. Like it's not one that you can just throw around and just say it's a Leicester title. Because I don't think it's a Leicester title anyway, because Leicester won the league that year with 81 points. And
Yeah.
obviously points don't always correlate the same way every season. So it's not always the fairest thing, but 81 points is still 81 points. Like who wins leagues with 81 points in any league? That's mad low. You know what I'm saying? Considering who was second, Arsenal finished with 71. I mean, that is dreadful.
Oh, what we on right now? Points wise?
73 or something?
That explains itself.
That explains itself. Like this United team right now on course to get about 80 points or something. So they would have probably have won the league that year in 2015-16, the way this is looking.
Oh God.
It's like that year is forgotten about that.
You know,
That's the worst season in Premier League.
I was gonna say just a quick one. Where do you see Pep if he goes to treble? Where do we rank him in terms of best Prem managers? Not managers in the world, but Prem managers.
Just Prem managers?
Does he overtake Alex?
No.
For me, he's already the best manager ever.
Oh damn.
I heard that as well. I heard that's all I've been hearing. He's the best
For me,
manager
he's
ever.
already the best manager ever, Pep. I can't lie.
Playing style, because of
It's everything. Like, yeah, the playing style, like how much they win. Obviously, he's been at top clubs, so I have to take that into consideration. But it's the funniest thing with Pep is that for me, before I let Jeff go, for me, he's the best manager ever. But I also think Pep has played a large part into why I don't enjoy football as much as I used to, because people have tried to copy him and they're not doing it as successfully, and they've ended up over robotizing the players in general across football. And I don't think that was Pep's initial intention, but he just became so good that it's like that's what happened. So in a way, he was so good he helped play the part into like the system era of football we're in now. That's how good he was. He was kind of like the first, maybe one of the first proper man that started the system era football. But yeah, but for me, I would say he might be the best manager ever. Yeah, him or Fergie, but I'll probably have Pep one. Yeah,
I get it. You could definitely make an argument for it. Like Pep's probably definitely one of the most infectious managers we've had in in football history. Like that 3-2-5, everyone's doing it. Like Tuchel was struggling. Yeah, Tuchel was struggling. He came back, Bayern are doing the same thing, the exact same thing. So it's just like he has that effect on football 100%. Like the only thing which my argument would be where I'd still have Sir Alex is just because Sir Alex rebuilt 3 or 4 teams. I know he was at Man United for 27 years, but it's 3 or 4 teams. Like I have to respect that longevity more, as well as winning. Like the style of play, it definitely wasn't as infectious as Pep. Like Sir Alex's was, some may call it basic, some may. I think it's efficient. Like you get the ball wide, you got deadly players, you got the Giggses and Beckhams, and then you got deadly strikers, you got midfielders like Scholes who run into the box, get goals, Keane, etc. But like taking people like that from the Steve Bruces, David Mays, whoever, Dennis Irwins, then you bring in the Everers. I'm even missing people, but there's Giggs, Beckham, you usher them in, then you usher in Ronaldo, Rooney, Carrick. Anderson can even be Tevez, Vidic, Ferdinand, and then to even win the league the way you won it with a team that was not that great. Like when Moyes came in, it's pretty much the same team. There's no real difference. It's not good, but they killed the league. So like I'd have to still give it to Sir Alex just because I give tenure like more. Like because Pep, you've done it with money at your disposal every single time. That it's no knock to you, but if I compare it to Sir Alex, it's just a little bit different. Like so, he's done it with money every single time, and this is definitely his longest tenure at a football club, as well, and like in this dominant era of Pep, you can argue and say he hasn't won enough Champions Leagues. You can say Sir Alex, when he was winning the Champions League, they didn't always deserve to, or the 2 times they won it, you can say they maybe didn't deserve to win the Champions League based on the best team. But Pep, you've had this influence. Like, how many has he won? 2?
2.
So 09 and 2011. Both are Barca. Some may say it's because of Messi. I can't say that, but
you can't say that.
I can't say that. Like because you did a lot. Like, it's not just because you had Messi. Like there was a lot of other things. Like Messi's a great bonus. It will help anyone win a trophy, but like in the last 12 years, you haven't won one. So Bayern, you had maybe the best team, and it didn't happen. City, there's probably 3 occasions where they could have gone all the way, and you're just thinking, I don't know what's quite going on here. So I can't say he's better than Sir Alex. He's definitely up there though in terms of best managers ever.
Yeah, no, 100% agree. Let me read out some comments. Big up our guy Rash saying, yes, my guys, hope you're blessed. Yes, Rash is obviously practicing Ramadan, so he'll be back next week. I think Eid is this Friday, so big up Rash. Saying it's an amazing progression of the team, style of playing, resilience. That's done it for me. Proud of them already. Shout out to the Goons. And big up, John. This is Bezed. Big up my guy Bezed, man. Big up for tuning in. Appreciate you, man. Big up, man. Big up. And obviously, anyone who's tuned in today, make sure you do smash the likes and subscribe to RBT. We're back. Feels good to be back. So yeah, let's probably obviously the game starts off soon. Bayern Munich against Man City. So let's probably just wrap it up real quick. Jalil, like obviously, and Jeff, we did our breakdown of the fixtures when I think there were 10 games to go for Man City and Arsenal. I think we all called, Jeff called that Arsenal losing at Anfield. We had them drawing at Anfield. So we got that one right. All of us had Arsenal winning at West Ham.
Yeah.
Which means there's one result that Arsenal need to get back somewhere. 7 games to go. What's your heart saying now? Are Arsenal going to do it, or do you think City do it?
I've come to reality that City's won this title, even though it's still mathematically possible that Arsenal can still win it. It's also mathematically possible that United can still win it on paper. So I'm not a deluded United fan because I saw someone put that into a group chat somewhere, and I did the math.
Are you serious?
Huh?
Are you serious?
Who put that in a group chat?
Who put that in a group chat?
I'll find it.
Don't even expose them. Don't even expose them.
But I saw it. I was like, why are you saying it? Why does it matter? You know, it's a 2-horse race. Why are you trying to jump in? But anyway, so I mean, I'm just happy with the way we performed this season. And there's that question that got put in, and I know John, you commented on it. I think Jeff also commented on it as well. But United finished third, and they come out with the Carabao Cup, and Arsenal get second. Who would you prefer? And I had this conversation, and majority of people were saying, "Oh well, you know, because silverware is kind of important." I'd rather finish third because it's the same achievement really as you guys for the second. And I guess you've got to think about playing style, how United's played this season. They've only had a few stars. I think Martinez, we can say, is one, and Rashford and a few others. I don't want to go into that because it could turn long. But the way Arsenal's been playing as a whole, I'd rather be us. They've hit my expectation. You know, a couple of years ago, I said this 3 to 5 year plan. Come to playing. It was never in my plan for us to even be challenging right now. I did see us in top 4, but I thought we'll be in a top 4 battle, and that's all we'll be talking about all season. The fact that we're talking about we're sitting top of the league. This is football. Anything can happen. City can drop points at any point, and we can gain points at any point, or we can drop points at any point. City can gain points, vice versa. So it's still achievable, but I'm just gonna go with my head and my heart are both saying, just be happy as to where you are today, because you can only progress on that. You get in Champions League. The money's going to be good. I'm excited for the preseason. I always watch preseason. I even go to the preseason. I love preseason. You get to see the players that who went on loan play, because you might like some of them, and you get to see the new boys come in and do the business. Like Jesus and Zinchenko last season and stuff. So that's that kind of stuff that excites you for a season. So I'm just happy, bro. I'll be honest. I'm happy right now. Regardless of whether we lose.
So I've seen a couple of Arsenal fans say that if Arsenal don't win the league, it should be considered a bottle job and a failure, and Arteta should be sacked if Arsenal don't win the league.
Yeah,
I'm guessing you're definitely not on that, because the argument was, if you're a big club with high standards, you bottle an 8-point lead, regardless of who it's against, you've bottled it. Time to get someone else in.
Jesus Christ,
Jeff, you want that one?
It's harsh.
It's a very harsh way of looking at it, because all right, put it this way: if you're Liverpool, a team who's equipped to have been there many times, you've been toe to toe with City, and you have the 8-point lead. It depends who has the 8-point lead. To me, no one at the start of the season for Arsenal were going to be here. You just didn't. You thought if Liverpool were here, you'd understand if their fans maybe said they bottled it, because it's all right, we've been going toe to toe with this team, we've been getting 90 plus points. To have an 8-point lead and to then lose it is just we've really dropped the ball here for a team who finished. Well, we finished 8th the season before, 7th.
Well, last year we finished 5th.
No, season before that.
Oh,
that's when
the 2 years before that was 8th and 8th.
Yeah, so 8th, 5th title challenges.
Yeah,
that doesn't warrant a sacking. We've seen a clear style of play from Arsenal, even in these 2 games where we've had these blips, where we've still got points. There's still a good, clear, fresh sign of how we want to play. And well, for that first 35 against Liverpool, we looked great. We really, really played well. The game plan was going well. Bit of naivety kicked in, and we dropped some points. Bit of naivety drops in again against West Ham, plus maybe a bit of fatigue, and you drop points. But that doesn't warrant a sacking. Now, who would you want next? Because if this has happened, you feel all right, we Arteta's taken us here, but he's not the man to take us over the line. Who would you want next? Because realistically, there's a bunch of Ramsdale, who should be England number 1 now. Been great signing. Gabriel, I can't really. It's not really Arteta, is it? Gabriel, but
no.
Zinchenko, Ben White.
Is it Emery? Wasn't Gabriel Emery?
No. Gabriel was Arteta.
When did he join?
Gabriel
Same
joined
year.
2020.
David Silva.
Okay,
David Silva hit
right
it
then.
open. Yeah.
2020. Okay. So,
2020.
but yeah,
2020. Hmm?
okay. But so Zinchenko, Martinelli is becoming one of the most dangerous wide players in the league. Same with Saka. Jesus is a great signing. Partey is playing fit, playing really, really well. Odegaard is a club captain, has been great. Xhaka's career has done a complete 360 at Arsenal. Like, and now we got a preseason to go and buy these players. You now want that baton to be passed to someone else, like where there's been a clear style and the players like it, and we've been doing well. Now you want someone else? I can't see it. Me personally, it doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree. I even me, I think it would be wrong to sack Arteta because because again, as we've been saying, two things can be true. You can be disappointed, and even if you believe the Arsenal bottled it, they still overachieved. Two things
Mhm.
can be true.
That
So
is a
they
fact.
so that's why, like you said, a clear style of play. If you sign two or three top players in the summer to add into this team, then now, like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what could happen next season. And then it's just about
Facts.
continuing to build and build, trusting the young players to get better under this system as they continue to get more and more comfortable with it. So, yeah, I think, and plus, like you said, who's out there? Conte went to Spurs, he's been sacked. Tuchel's are buying now, and even then, is Tuchel really the guy you want?
Potter.
Potter, we've seen how that went at Chelsea.
It's
Even though they
harsh.
probably should have kept him rather than get Lampard, which was just
Okay. Hey,
madness.
we're gonna talk about. Can we talk about Frank?
Yeah, let's talk about Frank, man. Let's talk about Frank. Let me read out some comments. Let's talk about Frank to wrap up, man. Big up Frank. Bezet said it's still in Arsenal's hands if they go see it and draw or win. Remember Anfield 89. Very true.
We hope.
Big up our guy DJ Minor saying, yo, I'm still here and we are going to do it. City game,
Respect.
must get points, and we're in. Boy,
I don't
no,
know. I don't know. I don't know. DJ
that.
Manuel, my guy, but like, I don't know,
But yeah,
man.
man, let's talk about Frank Lampard for a quick sec, man. Like, Jeff, take it away. How well is he doing at Chelsea right now?
Hey Frank, PSA to you, sir. You stink. As a manager, like player, legendary, part of a legendary football family. Like we respect you. Like you're an English. Or to me, you want to. I love Frank Lampard as a player. You may not be cut out for this managerial thing though. Like, this may not be for you. Like you already like nepotism fast tracked you. You went from Derby. You didn't even do that well at Derby. You finished sixth. Everyone was really excited. But you just did what Derby did. Like if you know the history of Derby, they finished in that playoff position for
Every year,
years.
every
For
year.
years. So you
Yeah,
didn't do anything amazing. You can say maybe you introduced Mount, you took that to Chelsea, you played Mount, and now Mount is a great or good English player. I won't say great, good
yeah,
English player.
yeah.
But you got lucky to get there. You got there because of your history as a player, and they also that great media story of Lampard versus Gerrard at the time. It all looked fantastic. Like, oh, the two English juggernauts back as managers, all that kind of stuff. You didn't. You might have been a little bit unlucky to get sacked at Chelsea. You got sacked nonetheless, though. It was over. You went to Everton. We're like, all right, cool. Like, let's see what he can do. Like, Everton are one of those, like, I wouldn't say sleeping giants, but they're a bigger club than where they were. You brought in Dele Alli. We see Dele Alli and Besiktas taking balloons.
Hey,
I'm just
shout out
saying.
to Dele Alli, man. I hope you can come back to some kind of form because this is just
I,
sad.
I can't wait for his Netflix documentary. I can't wait. Because it's gonna be a 5-6 part. Because I just can't understand how 6 years ago, I was, like in group chats, I was defending Dele Alli, saying he's one of the best youngsters in football, and now 6 years on, this is you. But anyway, we'll leave you alone
Yeah,
because
we'll leave Dele Alli alone, man.
let's hope you can recover some form or something. But back to Lampard. So you brought in Dele Alli, you brought in some other players, you stunk up the place at Everton, fired, gone. Now you're back at Chelsea. just think about this. You got sacked as the actual manager in 2021. They now hire you as an interim manager in 2023.
It's actually mad.
Crazy. That's crazy.
And this is your way of this is like a shop window for you. Like, this is like you showing yourself like, all right, I'm not going to keep this job because they got other plans, but I'm showing that I'm all right in it. Like, I'm not that bad a manager. Like, I can do some things. Oh, no. It looks like you're that bad a manager. Like, you lost convincingly every time you stepped on the pitch with this team.
He's 4 for 4.
Look at this. Like, when normally you get the new manager bounce, they've lost 4 out of 4. Frank, you see what Gary Neville did? He went and sat down. He realized they asked him, when do you want to go back into management? Never. I'm happy here. You need to take the same advice. Go and join Micah Richards, Thierry Henry, Jamie Carragher, set up at CBS Sports, get paid a lot of money, and give us your insight. Do not coach. I repeat, do not coach again. Put the badge down. I don't even know if you got a pro yet, but if you have, suspend that. You don't need to do that, man. You can go get paid handsomely because of your knowledge as a footballer. But Frank, knock. Yeah, after Frank, don't do it. Leave.
This guy killed him, fam.
He just and Lampard just got. I don't even think there's anything me and Gino can add to that.
I got nothing.
Yeah, we got nothing, bro. As Daniel said, Lampard gonna get sacked twice in a season.
Oh my god!
The money must be so dead as a pundit compared to coaching. To be fair, I think the money in punditry is good, bro.
I think
I
it's
can't
good.
lie. I can't lie. It's good money. It's just like, yeah, like. And what's funny is Lampard did so bad at Everton and got sacked. But what's even more mad is how bad Gerrard was doing at Villa. And now Emery has that same team up to 6th place.
Bro. Like, and Gerrard, that's another one. That's another. He got found out because I didn't realize he had like a coach with him who was like the mastermind.
Rangers,
yeah, and he left and went to like QPR. And as soon as he left, Gerrard just started struggling.
That guy was actually the manager, you know.
Yeah. So it's just funny, like how these things. Like, listen, man, just because you are a legendary player does not always mean you should just walk into management. Like, just look at like the Thierry Henrys of the world. Like, he took his hand in management, it didn't go so well. He might have realized, all right, I might need time here, or maybe it's just not for me. Like, even you see Eddie Howe, he got sacked at Bournemouth, took a few years out, came back, fresh impetus, doing well in Newcastle. Sometimes it takes that, but just from what we see, like what's implemented, like Gerrard and Lampard's managerial prowess ain't that great. Like, they haven't got their teams playing good football. It's not like an Arteta or even a Pep thing where it's like, all right, now these men need to manage. Like, they're cold. Like, you're just here because of your name. Leave.
Exactly. And you know what? It's the stubbornness of being top players that's not letting them see this, innit? But hey, everyone, to be fair, they've put themselves out on Front Street. Everyone can see it. What Emery's done at Aston Villa, to have them in 6th place, to have Ollie Watkins playing like how he is.
Salute.
Fantastic job from Emery. And it just goes to show Arsenal did have a good manager beforehand. It just didn't quite work out at that time. And it's worked out better with Arteta, which, you know, like, it's just how the nature of the business goes. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, man. But listen, people, we're gonna wrap things up now because obviously the game starts in 5 minutes time. So everyone who's still live, make sure you smash the like button. We're gonna be coming back now with regular shows. So we'll be back next Monday to look back on the weekend's games. I think Arsenal play Friday actually. So yeah. But yeah, we'll look back at the games on Monday. Probably try and do a debate show next week, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks' time, as we get to, and then we'll definitely have in fact, I just realized we'll definitely have a preview show next week before the big game, Arsenal and Man City. We'll try and get like a City fan on as well into the show. You guys know any City fans?
No.
Nah.
Yes, but like not
Not
enough
like
to.
not like a diehard. Nah.
Yeah, not die hard. All these fake fans, man.
Yeah. So we'll try and dig up a City fan from somewhere. I'm sure someone will want to do it, especially at this time. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to RBT. Follow us on TikTok, Instagram, etc. And big up everyone who's tuned in. As always, great engagement. And yeah, obviously, if we're not back before Friday, happy Eid from everyone on RBT ahead of Friday.
Mubarak.
Happy Eid Mubarak. And yeah, big up all our people as always. Happy to be back. And yeah, let's enjoy the game tonight. We out. Peace.
Peace.